we are back with Meet the Speakers, and I'm so excited to have Tami joining me today on the other side of the screen. If you're looking at it or if you're just listening to it, trust me, I have a talented wedding professional in front of me that's going to be sharing and chatting with you. And Tami, I know that you're talking about Destination Weddings Decoded, and I think for as long as I've been in this industry, 42 years, destination weddings is what everybody wants to do. Everybody wants to do it. It's a free vacation. We can go travel with our clients and get paid to be on vacation. And you're going to decode some of those myths. But before we dive into it, I really want you to share with our listeners why you felt in 2024 we still need to talk about decoding destination weddings. Why was your reasoning for wanting to present this? And what was the why behind it?
Well, actually, my decoding is going to be a little bit different, where I'm going to be uncovering pretty much what you're leaving on the table, like you're losing money.
Good.
Like you need to be, changing some systems and having a few different strategies in your business to really maximize the potential that you have as a destination wedding specialist. And there's too many people that leave money on the table. And so that's going to be part of my focus of what I'm going to be talking about, maximizing that earning potential.
And earning potential, I'm a firm believer, and those that already know me, and you may not, I believe that there's more than just money in the bank to be successful. I don't believe it defines you. I believe if you're doing what you love, it should bring you profits, purpose, and joy.
Yes.
But leaving money on the table in this industry is something that happens all the time, which is why we have max exodus. And then we have a bunch of newbies come back in again. Then we get mad at the newbies because they're undercutting us. Why is in 2024, do you think we still have not got a grasp on understanding that what we do is a business and that it needs to make money so that we can do other things? So especially in destination weddings, it's more than just the vacation that goes along with it or the fun. It's really, really hard work to do these destination weddings, whether they're in the United States or abroad. So why do you think we as the wedding industry and event industry have such a hard time of getting the money and maximizing that money potential?
I think that we still have this, like, I'm in competition mindset where we don't recognize our own value and the services that we're providing. And we're also not defining even to our own selves in a way that we can define to our clients, like, this is the value I'm bringing to you. These are the benefits that I'm offering to you. So I think that that's part of it. But I think that especially because I started a travel agency, and then I eventually added destination weddings as my my services, my specialty, where I really went in hard as that for my niche. But in the travel industry, especially, the majority of what we make is on the commission from the travel sales. And so people will be like, my services are free. My services are free. My services are free. And so then you come in, I'm coming in there, and I'm talking to clients, and I'm charging them $2,500 to hire me. I'm not trying to compete with the free travel professional.
Right.
I'm trying to showcase my expertise. And I think that that's part of it. It's just that we think that if I'm not, undercutting myself, I'm not going to get hired, and therefore I'm not going to get the business, and blah, 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 blah. And it just goes on and on. And I just think too, as women in general, we tend to not recognize our value. We tend to always undercut ourselves and how amazing we are.
Exactly. And when did you learn that lesson for yourself? Like, put you in the hot seat. When did something click that said, you know what, if I'm going to do this and add this service, I'm going to make money doing it, or I'm not going to do it?
That's a really good question. I'm not sure if I can right on the spot think of an exact moment, but I remember in my journey, like, where I remember in my journey coming to a place where I was investing a lot of time and money and energy in my travel business, doing what the experts told me to do. And I was doing kind of the traditional ways of marketing myself and doing the bridal events, the wedding shows, and networking and all of those different things. But I felt like all I was doing was just keeping my business alive. And I was just working to have a business rather than, actually make a profit. And at that time, my husband was a school teacher. We were a newly married, blended family, and we had 5 daughters. that we brought together, 3 and 2.
Yeah.
And so, school teachers, we got to give them some props.
Yeah.
Anyway, they,
Major.
great career. He did great at it. But it wasn't cutting the mustard financially. Right. And so I'm like, I need to contribute to my family, but I also need flexibility. So what can I do?
Right.
So then, that's why we started the business. But eventually I, just kind of had a heart to heart with God. And I was just like, what I need to know, is this business profitable? Can I make it profitable? What do I need to do? What do I need to change? And, am I cut out for this kind of a thing? And he's someone who's like, you got to do destination weddings. That's where some money is going to be. But I learned through destination weddings, the power of really being a specialist, and then how you can set yourself apart and the things that you can do to be able to charge more than others. But I eventually did have to hire like a coach who helped me kind of formulate a new business plan, essentially, so that I could do those things. And that was it was just kind of more of like stepping stones along the way. Like, okay, now that I got some systems and processes in place, now that I know how the heck to do a destination wedding, and I can actually say, I did it. Now what can,
Well, I think that's important for any attendee to hear, because at ABC, as you know, we have brand new people who are 3 years or less, and others that have been in the industry for 20 plus years. And I think there's always a lesson to learn. And throughout your career and your life, because I teach on both business and life, you will have self-doubt, that negative talk, that noise in your head that's going to say, well, you can't do that. You're not doing what Tami's doing, or you're not doing what Susan's doing. And so what sets you apart is what makes you fabulous, right? That's what sets you apart. So I think it's very important that people hear that you knew you had to figure out a way to niche this down and learn to make it be profitable, and not be afraid to ask for help. No matter who you ask, be able to get that answer and receive it. On that question, how important is it for you that you knew you didn't want to be the it to everybody or know how to do everything, that you really focused in on what you could do well? And how has that helped you being a specialist in one or two areas, instead of being, I can say yes to everybody and I can make everything happen? How important was it to you to niche down and do the travel and destination and marry those together?
So critical to my business growth. So critical. The snowball effect that resulted from that decision, I couldn't have dreamed of it. Because the beauty of a destination wedding is that, you've got this one couple who meets with you and they become your client, but with them come potentially 100 people, maybe even more. And all those 100 people have an opportunity to connect with you, to converse with you, to get to know you and how you work and how you operate. And those people become advocates for you. They are the ones that are out there. You should talk to Tami. Oh, you're booking a destination wedding. You should talk to Tami. They're also the ones calling me saying, hey, Tami, I went on this wedding with you 2 years ago. Do you do birthday groups? Do you do girlfriend getaways? Do you do? And then all of a sudden I have this huge amount of customer base. So it helped me to build and grow an actual real solid customer base really, really quickly. Whereas if you do it the traditional way, or if I would have stuck with when I initially started, when I very initially started, I didn't know what the heck I was doing in the travel world. And I just thought I could do it all. But I'm like, then I realized, no, I can't. So then I did honeymoons. But even then, that's still a slow going. And then, of course, if couples aren't going on honeymoon every single year, like I need to have, a way to produce a customer base where I got people that are just always going to be traveling year after year. And then that specialty, though, really just helped me kind of hang my hat and make a name for myself, so to speak.
And if you kept down that path of doing everything and you weren't doing it well, you would just got burnt out and given up on it. And I think it's really important that we in this industry, we say yes. We as women, we always say yes, but we can find what we're strong at. And we have to sometimes experience, hey, this is not for me. I decided I don't like this. Let it go and move on and find what brings you that joy, and you'll find your purpose, and then you'll find your profit in that. So how important has ABC been in your journey for success? And why was it important that you wanted to hit that submit button and be asked to speak? Why was it important to be at this conference coming up in November?
For me personally, I just have been helping a lot of industry professionals. And I'm just seeing a lack of understanding of who they are and their own personal value, what they're providing, and like being able to position themselves as the authority, as a celebrity, as the expert in their niche, and actually get paid for it. And I just was like, this is an opportunity. I've always wanted to be helping people. I started coaching people like 5 years ago, but well before that, people were always coming to me saying, how are you doing what you're doing? Like, tell me what you're doing in your business to get these awards and to, get these clients and get these big paydays and all that kind of stuff. And so I was always an open book because there's more than enough business. Like, I'm one person. There's only so many couples I can work with every year, right? So, but that was part of it, is really just, and then just the concept that we have this year for the conference of, that unity and education and empowering. I really want to empower people to recognize, themselves as the expert. And so anyway, that's a little bit of an answer there, I guess.
No, it's a good answer. But I love the fact that you talked about coaching, because so many in our industry, they don't think that we need some sort of a mindset coach, or we don't need a sales coach. And we are not good at everything. And if you are not good at asking for a sale, you're not going to be profitable, because if you don't know how to go after that client and say, hey, this is what I can do for you. And if you do it, Tami, by going, okay, well, I could do this, this, and this. So is $1,500 okay? If you don't have the belief in yourself and the confidence in yourself, who's going to believe in you? And so coaching is one of the ways that we can help. And there is nothing wrong with the coach. The Olympics are going on right now. Do you know, I have a couple clients that are athletes in the mindset room that I'm in. And there's 7 or 8 mindset coaches and confident coaches and empowerment coaches. And I'm from the big believer that you don't coach who you are now. We're going to coach who your potential and who you can be. And I think you bringing up the coaching and that helped you change and helped you shift a little bit and retrain your brain is essential. And maybe touch a little bit on it about how it is a call of wanting to succeed by your definition, that by reaching out and getting a coach, it is going to help you in the long run so that you can give back and be a mentor. So touch a little bit about how important getting that coach was, and that it isn't a sign of weakness. It is a sign of, I need some help to do this, this, and this so that I can provide for my family, for myself, and for my clients. So touch a little bit about why coaching was so important to you.
Well, I think for me personally, I was at this point where I was seeing some success, but I had my sights set on greater goals. So I think it started there, where I was like, okay, I have greater goals. I didn't know how to break it down. Like, I felt overwhelmed. And kind of felt like, how is it possible? Like, in our mind, we do that. Like, there's no way. How would I ever be able to do that? So that was the one thing, is like, I knew that I needed some help to be able to kind of break it down so that I could achieve that goal and what I was setting my sights on. And then I think that there was like a little bit of a shift in my why, and at that time in my life as well, like what I really needed out of my business and what my family needed. And I think that was also a driving force, because we have these seasons in life that we go through, right? And we, we were coming into a season where our kids were getting ready to go to college. We literally had no money saved for them to go to college, because I was a single parent, he was a single parent.
Right.
We came together and we were just trying to make our lives work on a monthly basis, right? And survive being parents of all these kids, all girls too, lots of drama. So
your poor husband, I can just imagine your poor husband.
He's one of a kind. He's really one of a kind. God bless him. So, but I think it was a combination of those things. But to be honest, I was at that point too in my business where I was just like, oh my gosh, I have been investing so much money in my business. And I was like, oh, do I dare do this? Right? Like, do I take this leap of faith and trust that this is going to pay off? But I'll tell you what, because I invested in the coach, I was like, I am doing every single thing she tells me to do.
Right.
I am not skipping it. I'm not, going to skim over this little lesson that she gave me to do. Like, no, I'm paying this money. I'm showing up. I'm doing the work. like sometimes we need to do that, right? I mean, how many diets have we gone on where we're like, if we
Oh,
don't tell a soul,
okay.
then it's done the next day. We don't even last 12 hours sometimes.
No. That's everybody's New Year resolution. They all want to go to the gym, and by February 1st, they pay the money and they don't show up again. And I think that that's vital to hear, because it's like you also touched on, as we grow, you know, and at 62, I can tell you that my why still does resemble a little bit of when I started, but it has changed because we grow. And our businesses grow, and what we need for our business and our family. And I have been the sole provider for my family, still taking care of everybody. So I knew when it was okay to say yes to a wedding to simply pay the bill. And I get a lot of flack in the speaking industry because I say that. If there is an opportunity for a small wedding for me to photograph that comes up and only has $900 and needs a couple hours, that's my house payment. Or that was my mother's medical payment. I was not too afraid to take that, but I went in with the mindset of, this is what I'm doing in order to provide. So I didn't have the bunch of red flags and all those things. I went in with the attention of, this isn't going to get me the next $9,000 wedding. It wasn't going to be on Instagram, but it was what I was going to do to provide my family, sharing the gifts that were provided to me. So I think it's important that you now are taking what you learned and your experiences, and you are sharing with others to not only make the industry grow, but more importantly, and I will stand behind this all the time, we have got to take care of ourselves. Mindset and confidence and self-worth are the tools in our toolbox. You can have every CR system, you can take every single class, you can invest in every single conference. If you don't come back and take action on being the one that you know you have to change, nothing's going to change. And I applaud you for now wanting to mentor others and not walk the journey with them or have them walk in your exact journey, but empower them to believe in themselves that whatever it is they want to do, they're going to succeed because they're taking action and doing that. So I applaud you for that.
Thank you.
And I do believe, I do believe we have seasons in our life. There's times in our business when we're packed, we're slammed, and our family has to understand, okay, this is the busy season here. So that harmony has to happen when we're busy at home. Preparing for your session. You have been doing this for a while, and you know what you needed when you attend conferences. What's the best way for attendees to attend, to come to your session? Open heart, open mind, but what's something else that they can prepare for? And I also want to remind everybody that Kathy has made it real easy to reach out to all of the speakers. So make sure you reach out to Tami ahead of time. Don't be afraid to follow her, ask a question, jump in her DMs, because you never know when that question might be 8 or 9 something else has reached out to Tami. And now Tami knows, okay, here's 10 people that are struggling with this. She can come knowing that's a topic. So reach out to Tami, be respectful of her time, but reach out and say, I want to meet you. And if you need to set something up with Tami, this is the time to do it before the conference comes, so she can block off some time to meet with you and you can get to know her better. But how can we come? How can we come prepared to get all the gems you're going to drop for us?
So one piece of advice that I offer with that, before the conference at all, like if you're flying there, if you're driving there, whatever it is, before you arrive, clear your mind and set an intention. Like, what is the number one thing that you need to walk away from that conference with? Like, so that when that nugget, you're going to be hearing from all these amazing people, when that nugget is dropped, you know that was for you. And you can grab a hold of it and run with it. The other thing is, you could potentially have the same sort of mindset before going into every session. Like, what is one intention? You know, because we can sign ourselves up and show up for these classes, but if we're not preparing our minds to receive, and it's just information, guess what? It's information in, information out. And you've got to set an intention on, what is it that I want to learn from this person? What is the one thing that I need the most that compelled me to sign up, to show up for this particular session? And what am I going to walk away with? Like, I have to do that every time I go into any sort of meeting, any sort of webinar, any sort of session of any kind, because otherwise I won't grab a hold of what I need.
And it won't find you. It won't find its way into your conversations. And also, how well, Tami, do you believe that those aha moments happen outside the classroom? Somebody brought up a question and now you're like, oh my God, kindred spirit.
Oh yeah, for sure. And then, just those conversations and connections with people. We need to surround ourselves with people who can help us along this journey. And there's so many of us that are in this industry. We're solopreneurs.
Right.
And then we think that it's okay. We're meant to connect with human beings.
Exactly.
Like we, you and I are connecting, but we're not connecting together in the same room, right?
Right.
We're just like behind our keyboards all the time, and getting all glassy eyed and thinking that that's just normal. And no, it's good to connect with others because we learn from each other. And then other fun things, like when you're having conversations with other people, especially if they went to that same session, ask them what their greatest takeaway was.
Right.
Because then they're going to remind you of something that maybe you didn't catch,
right,
or you heard it, but then you forgot about it. And so then you're like feeding off of each other's greatest takeaways. And then you're really, filling up your own bucket with more nuggets.
Well, and then also make a plan for when you come home.
Yes.
If you can, have an extra day. Or if you're flying on the plane, instead of watching the free, high price airline ticket movie on the back of the screen, go ahead and go back to your notes. I'm a big proponent of, while I go back to my hotel that day or when I take a break, after each session, I like to walk away talking to my phone recorder. Here's my takeaways from this class. Right. Here's my takeaway from the hallway. And then I recap it and I have it. Then on the plane ride home, I make those mental notes. And then I set a day aside to take action on what I learned, because you're investing in this conference. You're investing in yourself. You have to be also make the change. And there's 18 amazing speakers. And we have McKenna doing the keynote. And again, Aaron and Shelby and Desiree have all done an amazing job, the entire conference committee, to bring a selected group of speakers that are proficient in different areas. So you're going to get a vast array of how to grow your business, but also how to grow your life and live intentional. Well, Tami, it has been a joy. I cannot wait to meet you in person. I love your vibe. I love your energy. So friends listening, if you want to sit with Tami and find some time with Tami and let her energy and her presence come into your veins and come into your life and help shift your mindset, get your tickets. I know we still have tickets available. I don't like to do a big sales pitch, but if you're listening to this and you're an ABC member, go ahead, make the investment. You're going to get a return of investment back. Mm-hmm. Aaron, again, has done an amazing thing. We have speaker rooms. We have intentional rooms. We have timeout rooms. There's so many things at this conference that are going to give you the opportunity to really dive deep into yourself and take a look at who you are and where you want to go with your business and where you want to go in your life. So get those tickets. And Tami, I can't wait to meet you in November. I can't wait for you to share your expertise, your energy, and just your whole being with our attendees. So thank you for your time today, my friend.
Thank you. And I look forward to meeting you. It's going to be so much fun.
Absolutely. All right, friends. We'll see you in November.